Joe Biden forced to defend himself against a progressive push on either side of him last night during the Democratic debate. Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren hammering home Medicare for all.
I know that the senator says she's for Bernie. Well, I'm for Barack. I think the Obamacare worked.
I, who wrote the damn bill, if I may say so, intend to eliminate all out-of-pocket expenses, all deductibles, all co-payments.
And while Bernie wrote the bill, I read the bill. And on page 8 of the bill, it says that we will no longer have private insurance as we know it.
The problem, Senator Sanders, with that damn bill that you wrote and that Senator Warren backs is that it doesn't trust the American people.
So let's be clear. I've actually never met anybody who likes their health insurance company.
So this took up most of the time in last night's debate, mainly because health care is by far polling as the #1 issue for voters. To break it all down, we bring in liberal radio host Ethan Behrman, along with campus reform Emma Meshell. Ethan, how did you rate the candidates last night? More importantly, who won on the health care side of this? Who do you think was more persuasive?
It's a great discussion, and it's an important one within the Democratic primary. I mean, you really, at this point, it's really Joe Biden and Beto O'Rourke who are making the strongest arguments for a public option, as was originally discussed with the Affordable Care Act. There is definitely a large group within the Democratic Party who argue for Medicare for all, but I really believe that Biden and Beto and Klobuchar and Buttigieg, as we just heard there, are the greater percentage of the American population which say, look, unions fought long and hard for their health care plans. Google and Facebook offer excellent health care to their employees. We want to cover the 10 to 20 million people and ensure that they have access to health care. So let's provide this public option, the Medicare for America, like Beto calls it, or Biden's expansion of the Obamacare plan. Right. I really think that's what's going to win in the end.
Emma, it is interesting because the other candidates, while not wanting to offend President Obama and his fans, all kind of nodding, hey, thumbs up to President Obama for taking us this far, they want to take it substantially further because they think the system is too profit-driven. And that seems to be something that does work well with millennial voters, Democratic millennial voters.
Yeah, well, it's not surprising to hear these people pick up and try to run further with what Obama started with the Affordable Care Act. But this is definitely something that is driven by the more young wing of the Democratic Party. These are not things that poll well and that play well with these moderate voters that are going to be needed to win the presidency. We've seen a lot of people that are dissatisfied even with what Obamacare did. I can speak for my grandparents who are middle-class, suburban, swing voters, and their premiums doubled under Obamacare. And they remember his promise that they would get to keep their health care plan if they liked it, and they feel, I think, wronged by that. And when you look at taking further control of the healthcare system, you look at a complete takeover by the government and taking away private insurance and turning millions of people into criminals. I don't think that plays well either. So it's really tough here to see a situation where the Democratic Party is able to win people over on healthcare.
Yeah, Ethan, I think that's a great point. Listen, there were a lot of zingers last night, but I think one that stuck with me was the idea that nobody loves their health insurance plan, right? Like, we love our doctors, and we were promised we would keep them. Many people reported that they couldn't keep them. Not everyone is covered. You know, there's still the crisis that President Obama said he was going to cure was not cured. And there's some issues with the profit motivation by people on both sides of the political aisle. Are the medical companies, the drug companies, the insurance companies making too much money off of our pain and misery?
Well, that was one of the key things in Obamacare, was capping the profit margins of the insurance companies at 80 and 85% had to be paid out in claims. So that was actually addressed in the Affordable Care Act. The Republicans have done nothing other than attack the Affordable Care Act, and they have no replacement for it. They have no alternative. I really believe that enhancing and strengthening the Affordable Care Act and adding this public option is critical for the Democrats. I have so much respect for Senator Warren, but I think she's wrong. There are people who are happy with their health insurance right now.
All right, Ethan, Emma, thank you both very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.